Oh, yeah. I just saw a video today because I said my moon is in Pisces. I saw a video of Amy Winehouse going, "Oh, you're a Pisces? Do you know what that means?" And he goes, "No." She goes, "You're gay." Like, oh, that woman would have loved pelvic POV.
She would have loved pelvic
We were
POV.
right about that.
I would have loved her.
Welcome to Pelvic POV with your hosts and doctors of physical therapy, Amanda Neary and Hannah Meyer. Hey, pelvic freaks. Welcome back to another episode of Pelvic POV.
We're your freaks for us and we're freaks for your pelvis, baby.
Happy summer solstice, everyone.
And happy Pride.
And happy Pride. This past weekend, we had June 21st, which was the longest day of the year. And it was so bananas hot in Chicago. And it was also Pride Fest weekend. So Hannah and I are wearing our Pride gear. If you can't read mine, it says roommates.
If you can't read mine, it says queer. Oh, God. This is a big Pride for us.
It is a big Pride. It's our first Pride, both being openly out.
We should talk about it. Last year,
let's talk about it.
This is our first Pride openly out as bi, both of us, and we talked about it on the podcast.
Yeah, the pelvic freaks have known, and anyone in our circles have known. At this point, I'm like, anyone who finds out through the podcast or not directly from me, I don't care how they found out. You know, so that's how you know.
Like you said, coming out is such a weird thing.
It's just a weird thing to have to do.
Yeah. It's just weird, especially to like the people that you've known for a long time. It's like, hey, and you know no one's gonna care. If they do, fuck off.
If they do, then I don't actually care.
My friends aren't gonna actually care or whatever, but it's still like weird to be like, oh, hey, guess what? I'm finally accepting this part of myself and letting you know.
Yeah.
Definitely weird. So
yeah, but we got to celebrate. We went to Factory at Atmosphere, which is a Pride event, and they had some drag queens performing, a really good DJ, and it was good vibes. It was very fun. It was balls hot out though.
And the night before I went to a Pride pole show, which was super fun, and they had a lot of sapphic pole stuff going on. It was really good. Shout out to those performers at Chicago Pride Pole Night. It was amazing.
So good. The night before I went to see Robbie Hoffman, the comedian Gabby Wendy's wife, if you don't know her.
Gabby Wendy,
we love you. Robbie was fucking amazing. I described it as like the funniest comedy I've seen without being high. I was just crying the whole time. So good. And then we met up and we went to Chapel Night at Beauty Bar. So that was pretty queer as well.
Oh, yeah. We went to Chapel Night.
Yeah. So it's been a very queer weekend. And then Sunday I went to, I forget what it's called, but it's like a queer, witchy woman night at this music venue with my friend who invited me too. So
cool.
So many queer things.
Queer stuff.
Let's
talk about how weird it is coming out when you have a boyfriend.
Yeah.
Because that's weird and makes you feel like you don't deserve to, ?
Yeah.
But definitely a thing. Oh my God, a bisexual with a boyfriend. What else is new, I guess? It's super common. And there's a pretty thicko stereotype on that, but still exists.
So what's it been like?
I think it's been fine. It's been normal, but I think it's more like the
imposter syndrome.
Yeah, imposter syndrome, but the like inner struggle of like being like, oh, like I'm not straight, but I'm not queer, but you know what I mean? It's like that weird.
It's imposter syndrome.
It's imposter syndrome. Exactly. I'm sure so many people relate.
Yeah, I think every bisexual person can probably relate to that to some degree because like I'm dating a woman, but I still feel that if I were to go on a date with a man or like sleep with a guy, I'm like, wait, are people going to think I'm not bi anymore? Like it is just it's a weird thing we have to label people on.
Yes.
Very odd.
Labels are just weird. I mean, Billie Eilish is dating a man or has been seen like with a man lately.
I think she was seen with someone in
everyone
in
like
a photo.
Everyone like freaked out about it.
Yeah.
So it's like the biphobia is definitely real.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very real. That is a true example of biphobia. And then there's like the stuff that happened with Fletcher
Well, I've never listened to Fletcher's music. I should say that.
I haven't either, but I am aware that her brand was very much like sapphic, built on like the sapphic community. I think so. I do think there is a lot of biphobia. If you read the comments, some people are just super biphobic and they're like, oh, she's dating a man. She was never even gay. And I'm like, that's stupid. That is not real. But
At the end of the day, you shouldn't have to explain yourself to anyone.
you shouldn't have to explain yourself. But then I think a lot of the queer community is upset that she released a song about dating a man and how like hard it was for her during Pride Month.
Yeah, exactly. And it being during Pride Month that she released a song.
Right. And it's like, and they're like, oh, your hetero relationship is so hard for you. And I'm like, I get it. I don't think I would care enough to make a thing about it. It doesn't like impact me that way, but I guess I can see their point where like the timing wasn't great. But it is another example of like you go in those comments and you see a lot of biphobia. And it's also, I wouldn't put it on like lesbians that are doing that, because there's also this like idea that all lesbians are biphobic, and I don't think that at all. I love lesbians. I love dating lesbians. I think they're great, and I don't think they're inherently biphobic. And I've heard other bi people say that, and I'm like, every lesbian I've dated has not had like an ounce of biphobia in them. So like that's not my experience with them, and they're already such a marginalized group of people that why are we putting that on them?
Yeah.
Like other bi people are biphobic too. Like a lot of people have internalized biphobia. It's just, it is abundant, but I'm not putting it on lesbians,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, this is our first Pride.
Our first Pride. Okay.
I mean, it's exciting. And I feel like I'm constantly like learning too and constantly accepting myself, because this time last year I was suffering from major bi panic or gay panic. I was like, oh my God. And this year I'm just like, well, this is who I am.
Yeah. This time last year was like my first real like falling for a woman experience. I didn't have like the bi panic, but I was also like, what the fuck does this mean for like dating in the future? It is like, it's an interesting thing to have happen. I'm like, wow, a whole new world of possibilities has been open for me.
Yeah. That's been just like locked away because of just how we were conditioned as we grew up. You know, like at the Pride Pole night, they went around, and during the intermission, they were like, because most of the people in the pole community are queer and most pole dancers are queer. They went around during intermission and said, okay, what was your first moment you knew you were gay? Or what was your gay awakening? Or what's a moment you looked back on realizing that you're attracted to women, for example? And so many of people's examples were like when they were kids, or not even like kids, but just like in the youth, like growing up and like looking back and being like, oh, maybe I should have clocked that. And I feel like a lot of people can relate to that, but then we just like shame it away and push it away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially in high school. Like,
what was your example?
You know mine.
Wait, remind me.
You don't remember Titanic?
Yes, I remember.
What was your
Pirates of the Caribbean?
Pirates of the Caribbean? I knew this about you too.
Major bi panic.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. When we talked about that with the Hannah episode, the fashion episode with the corset.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Literally.
Baddie.
I just remember like watching that scene where Keira Knightley is like putting her little bedside candle away and like tucking her necklace into her chest. And I was like, she's fucking hot.
I think so many people had really good examples. Someone said, oh my God, I can't remember. But one other person had Titanic as well. So I feel like that's a common one.
Nice.
But at the end of Pride Pole Night, the host, which is one of our pole instructors, went around and was like, okay, so for all the straight people here, what reassures you that you're straight? I just want to know.
That's so funny.
Which is really funny because like 90% of the people in there were queer, but like not, I mean, who knows how many, but a lot were allies as well. So
yeah, I love the pole community because it's just so accepting of like the label queer and figuring it out. And like, you don't have to have a specific label and you know, you're queer, but
you know what helps people to come out is like being in a community like that.
100%.
Because I could see if I never like joined pole or like got into that community or became friends with you or whatever, like I could still be like having that battle with myself.
Also, like when I came out to you last year And we had already talked about me getting into pole, and like it was something my friend Steph had wanted me to do for years, and I was like, I'm gonna do pole. And then your comment about how queer it was, and you're like, oh, it's such a good queer community. I was like, okay, sold. I'm like doing it now. And it has just been, because like I still have an internal battle, which is crazy. But every time I go to a pole class, I'm like, yeah, I'm just so queer.
It's reassured.
It's reassured because everyone there is just so fucking queer.
I want to talk another thing about what it's like dating men as being bisexual. I feel like the type of man that you date is really, really, really different.
100%.
And I was talking to, I just got a tattoo this week, and I was talking to my tattoo artist about this because I am not interested in a man like the typical white cisgendered male, like stereotype of like I football and watch sports and golf, and that's all I care about. And I only listen to rap music, and I don't vote or something. I don't know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like the typical fucking moderate man.
Yeah. And or like the guy that you see in Wrigley Field.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to date that guy.
Oh yeah.
Past me would have, because that's what I was surrounded by, and that's the group of people I was surrounded by. No, like the way you look at men is altered, and you guys can probably tell because we kind of shit on men a lot on this podcast, which there are good men out there that we love, and they exist, but they're a specific type that we care about.
I will say,
and love.
I will say my type has also changed so much, and I'm not even like dating men actively right now, but my exes all give me the ick now. Like actually one of them grew on me where I was like, he kind of seemed bi. And now I feel like he would be my type if we met today.
Yeah.
But my other exes, I'm like, I can't fathom like how I was attracted to this person. And they were all like, I was always like politically aligned, like worldview aligned with the people I dated, but they were just like sports guys or like really involved and passionate about that. And definitely not involved in the queer community in any way. And now my type in men is like, if they're tall, I have to be able to break them in half. Like they can't be like beefy guys. And they just have to be freaking nerds and self-deprecating and like super accepting. And honestly, the more like queer adjacent they feel, the more I'm attracted to them.
Yeah. And like the less they mansplain things.
Well, 100%.
Like I feel like the typical like white male, cisgendered white male stereotype like that I would typically date. I feel like they would like be like, I can teach you how to do this. I know things, versus like the relationship I am now. We learn from each other and teach each other things, and I love it. I don't know. Let's talk about another thing that happens when you finally accept your queerness, and it's your sexuality. Like you get 10 times more confident in your sexuality and like in yourself. Like your confidence totally expands, and maybe not even like in the bedroom or like it sexually, but just in general as well. Like I feel like I'm way more confident. It's probably because I'm myself. I'm myself again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again.
Myself again.
I'm myself.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like for both of us, the last couple of years have been like journeys back to our true selves. Because like we both had relationships that we wouldn't choose for ourselves today. And then we became friends, and then like started this podcast and came out and had a crazy year last year. If you really think about how much happened last year for us too, it was like a very transformational year. And yeah, absolutely. Like accepting myself and just like realizing that it's cool. It's actually cool. No matter what I do is cool.
Yeah. Like I'm a cool person. Look at us.
Look at us.
We have tattoos.
We have tattoos. We're cool. Hannah has a new tattoo. Show.
It's wrapped up in Tega.
Yeah.
Tegaderm.
I can't wait to see it without.
Me too. I'm so excited. Shout out Gray Tattoos. You know that's our girl.
I'm trying to reschedule with Gray because I was so sick during my appointment. I couldn't go.
Yeah.
I'm going to get on Gray's schedule soon though. Excited.
Well, guys, we wanted to talk about Pride, obviously. So there you go. We're talking about Pride today. But our biggest topic of today is, well, it's what sparked our idea for this topic is that it's summer. Summer is a time when people commonly fall into the pit of wellness trends because they want to get their quote unquote summer body, bikini body ready, like hot girl summer ready, which you can have a hot girl summer without falling into toxic wellness trends. So we were like, should we just make a list of wellness trends that
We're debunking, actually.
that we're debunking, aka propaganda we're not falling for?
100%. Also, I just want to say, even like watching comments about like people on Love Island and how hot they are, it's just so abundant. It's still so abundant. And it's hard when you like actively remove yourself from that culture for so long. And like I actively do not engage in like diet and wellness culture for that reason. It's not good for my mental health. But then you read comments and they're like, oh, I got to start doing this so I can look like Huda. And I'm like, I can't. So that's also why we need to talk about this.
Or even like Ariana Madix. I saw like Ariana Madix is a fucking baddie, okay? But people will be like, and she is natural, like whatever, like natural body. It's like, but who cares? Like stop in general, just stop like commenting on people's bodies.
It's wild.
Like she is a baddie, but like all people can be baddies. It's your energy, okay? It doesn't matter what your body looks like. It's your energy and your confidence. That's why Ariana looks so good when she walks out there and does those slow motion walks. Me and Austin both.
That pink dress,
dude. Her brown hair look like actually made my heart flutter.
She did look good.
Like, I'm not kidding. Like every time Ariana comes out, Austin on the show is like, I know. Oh, come here, queen. Let me help you. And I'm like, that's how he should be.
He's like, I want to couple up with Ariana. I'm like, yeah. So people are baddies. You're never going to fit everyone's vision of what the perfect woman or person looks like. Like if you're losing too much weight, people are assuming you're doing Ozempic or like something. And it's like, fine if you are, and it's fine if you aren't. And you're just never going to fit the mold of like what people need you to be. So that's why we're debunking these, because it's one of those times of year where like brands and trends can get really predatory with their marketing because it's summer and it's time to do this now. And it's the same thing in January with like new year, new body. Get ready for summer bod. So now's the time.
And capitalism feeds off of women's insecurities.
Yeah, we are the biggest spenders and we control what the market advertises to us. So let's take some authority over that.
Yeah. Well, should we talk about the first one that you were really confident about?
Yeah. Guys, 75 hard. What are we doing? Let's be real. Let's just talk about it real quick.
It's toxic for sure.
It's toxic as fuck because one, you're not building anything sustainable. And it's like, have you looked at the breakdown of it?
I need to look at it right now.
We might have to go over it again.
75 hard.
I'm talking 75 soft boiled, 75 mushy. That's where I'm at.
I mean, see, I understand how these come apart because like, I think the idea is like, come apart. Guys, when you listen to me, I listen back on these episodes when I edit and I realize all the wrong sayings I say. Yes, I also hear it. Okay, I don't give a fuck.
I realize how these come apart.
I said so something else. I said I'm breaking the door down or something. I don't know.
Okay, so you're expected to stick to a meal. This words it very nicely. A nutrition plan of your choice, a diet, for 75 days. That can be Mediterranean, keto, vegan, flexitarian, paleo, pagan, DASH, and Whole30 diets.
So the word diet pisses me off.
Yeah, diets are stupid. I don't love it. And everyone has a diet, right? We're not talking about the fact that like we eat food, but what diet has actually like worked for people long term? I'm very curious if there's anything. Two 45-minute workouts and one must be outside. And I get that this is trying to build a get outside habit because that is great. There are many studies that getting some sun on your face, especially in the morning, is going to be great for you and your mental health and your physical health. But to expect someone that might be going from no exercise to doing an hour and a half with a split shift is like kind of insane to me.
Wild.
And not really sustainable. The only time I was working out twice a day, by the way, was the most depressed I've ever been in my life. And it was to feel something. Just going to throw that out there. I'm a 75 soft girl. 3, drink a gallon of water. Sure. Hydration goal. That's fine. 4, read 10 pages of a nonfiction personal development focused book. I think this is Was 75 Hard started by a man?
Yes, of course it was.
So this is the example that I'm like, this was started by a man. Because why do we have to read nonfiction? Do you think
That's
you can't
exactly what I was
learn
gonna say.
something from a fiction book? You know how many real life world tropes are in fiction and fantasy books that we can learn from and learn how to communicate effectively and learn how to take care of ourselves effectively? It does not have to be a personal self-development focused book.
Yeah, even looking back on the episode we did with Sarah on like reading the hot spicy fairy books and what we can learn from that.
100%.
I mean, reading is just amazing and I want to do it.
Yeah. Take a progress picture is rule number 5.
Really quick, going back to the book thing, I have read those like personal development, like whatever books. If anything, they just make me feel bad about myself.
I've read a lot of self-help books, and I listen to them more than I read them because I feel like they're better like while I'm driving or something. I don't always dislike them, but I just don't think it's a good way to like, it's like saying you have to do this specific exercise to get into running. I'm not gonna, or to get into fitness, sorry. Like you have to run to get into fitness. You have to read nonfiction to get into reading. I just don't think that's how you build a healthy habit at all.
Yeah.
Progress pictures are so not the vibe.
I don't like that.
I don't want to do that. I don't want people to do that. That's not good for anyone.
That is something else that like connects you back to like hating your body the way it is.
And what's funny is they justify it by like countering body dysmorphic disorders by not weighing yourself. I'm like, do you think a picture isn't going to contribute to a body dysmorphia? It's actually going to do that as well. It's not good.
We've said it before, but like the best way to exercise is to just do something you enjoy. Get out there and get moving. Even if it's walking outside.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Some people might read 75 Hard and it's like already what they're doing. And they're like, this is totally doable. I don't know why you're saying that. The reason we're talking about it is because everyone and their mother has heard of 75 Hard because it's advertised at the general population, right? It's like, you want to get into fitness, try this fitness challenge, and then you'll be working out a lot. And yeah, realistically, if you're doing 2 workouts a day for 75 days straight, you're probably going to have a good routine and a good habit by the end that you may be able to maintain, even if it's just one of those workouts. But odds are you're going to try 75 Hard and quit after 10 days and feel worse about yourself because you couldn't keep up this unrealistic thing.
Yeah.
And that's what these things do.
That is 100% what happens majority of the time.
And they link in their freaking blog post this weight loss app that they're partnered with that you're going to click on after because you weren't able to lose weight through that. And then they're making money somehow, whoever's advertising for this.
Yeah. And I know people that have done 75 Hard and have seen results. But like, of course, if you do stick with it and you are working out twice a day and you're following a certain diet, a strict diet, you're going to lose weight. But are you going to feel good about yourself after? I don't know. Because in my vision, I'm like, okay, look at where I started. Look where I am now. I'm thinking like, okay, I worked my ass off to get where I am now. But like, I hate the idea of like, oh, I hated my body before and now I like it. But it's because I'm skinny and whatever. Versus like, I was looking back at old pole videos, like when I first started and how I moved. It was like, and how I moved and seeing my progress of like how I move now. It's not like my body shape that I'm looking at and like the way I lost weight or whatever. It's just like my confidence that I'm looking at. So I guess if it does like make you more confident, like whatever, but in my opinion, more often than not, it's just going to kind of teach you to hate the past version of yourself when you should love all previous versions of yourself and just appreciate where you were at that time.
Yeah. And I will say as a person who has struggled with my body and weight at various points in my life throughout my whole life, I'm finally in a place where like movement genuinely makes me feel good because I feel strong and for the reasons I always wanted it to feel good. I'll put it that way. It's not about what it's doing for my body in that moment. I'm not thinking about how it's going to make me look after. I'm thinking about how it's going to make me feel. And I realize it is even a privilege to be in that place because that means I've had the resources to help me get there. But fad diets and wellness trends are not the thing that ever got me there. And that's my 2 cents on that. It is absolutely not going to get me there.
Yeah.
So things like this give me the ick.
But we're saying, yeah, drink water. I've heard, and I'm going to be a big stickler on this because it says drink a gallon of water per day. And then they sell those water bottles that it's like at 10 a.m. you should be here, whatever. The idea behind that is great. I get it. But it's like going back to like realistically, you're not going to follow that exact day to day. And it's going to just stress you out. And then you're going to be like chugging water. And then like just in the back of your brain, like when I have patients come in for pelvic floor stuff, I tell them like, okay, drink like a Stanley and a half a day minimum. And then you're set. Like that sounds way less stressful.
Yeah.
Than like having to like, okay, I'm going to have you buy this water bottle. And then I'm going to have, I mean, that water bottle alone is marketing.
Yeah. It's starting somewhere, right? It's like first get the water in, and then we can talk about like when you're how fast you're actually supposed to drink a bottle of water. If you're actually doing that consistently already. That's the other issue with this. It's going to the extreme so quickly that like no one knows why they're doing it this way. They're not building slowly. That's not how you form a habit. You don't force yourself in the deep end.
Yeah.
And while that might work for a select few people, that's not the science behind habit building.
No, and I'm good at building habits. And I even had one of those water bottles, for example, and I sucked at it and it pissed me off.
Yeah, it makes you angry.
I'd be looking at it. And I'm like,
I have
fuck.
one. I actually think I have one, but I just don't read it.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just like, what the hell? So that's why I don't like those kind of water bottles.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of like our number two, going off of that. I mean, 75 Hard is a bunch of wellness trends debunked. Progress Pics alone is wellness trend debunked.
That's true. What's number two?
Waist trainers.
Waist trainers. You know, I will give it to marketing, maybe, or people using, I don't know, research. I've seen a lot less of waist trainer stuff recently than I have in recent years.
Yeah.
Right?
People ask me about belly binders more often, like postpartum.
Yes.
That's what I get asked about the most.
For like a functional need. And you know what? The waist trainer was probably invented for a functional purpose, and it was taken over by an aesthetic population.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're an aesthetic population, so we're going to try to make things about weight loss somehow. Waist training is actually, I'll group the next two together. So we have waist trainers and we have lymphatic drainage massage for looking snatched. Mm-hmm. Both of these are very temporary fixes for what is really just moving fluid around your body. So lymphatic drainage massage helps move lymph fluid towards the lymph nodes to excrete it through the urine. So medically, it's really useful post-operatively, or if you have a lymphedema or something like that, usually in a limb, but it can also be built up in the abdominal region too. You have lymph fluid there. So the idea of like the lymphatic drainage massage snatching you, the effect of that is maybe going to last 2 hours because you're just going to have less fluid in that area of your body. We are 70% water at the end of the day. So like we can shift things around, but it's not going to be a lasting change. And then a waist trainer is basically doing the same thing. So you're just forcing the fluid out of that region of the body. So yeah, your waist is going to look a little bit smaller. And I don't know what some of the guidelines are on these, but I've seen some where you wear it for like 90% of the day at times and like overnight. And like, yeah, that might have a slightly longer effect. But if you don't keep doing it all the time, it's not going to give you that effect long term. In my opinion, that would, if their goal is really aesthetic, that would encourage relying on something that is not actually going to help you get to that goal.
Yeah.
And feel that way.
And for belly binders specifically, we don't want you guys wearing that because then you're not going to be able to take a good diaphragmatic breath. You're putting so much pressure on your pelvic floor. And that's not going to be good.
Yeah. People
do ask me postpartum if they should be wearing one. What do you say to that?
I think if it's prescribed to them for a really large diastasis, I think there's a time and a place for it. Mm-hmm. And it's mostly during like heavier lifting or like vertical activity where they're gonna, basically a belly binder with a large diastasis is going to be a gap in that abdominal wall that you would get through pregnancy because you can have some abdominal separation. At a certain degree, we cannot like naturally expect it to come back together. You would need a surgical intervention for that. The belly binder will just help people feel secure if they have a really large gap.
That's what I say. It's not really doing anything at the end of the day, but it's like kind of like checking you. So I'll tell people, and I'm talking like if you have a significant diastasis, like a 4-finger width or something. So like you're putting your hand by your belly button and you feel the edges of your rectus like side to side, or you feel like a large hernia or something like that, I'll tell people immediately postpartum, like, hey, if you're going out running errands a lot and it makes you feel more secure and protected, like, feel free to throw it on for a couple hours. Like, if you feel like you need that support. But what we're doing here when we're retraining your core and like strengthening your core and teaching you to breathe properly, like, that's what's actually going to improve it. It's not going to be like you need something holding you together. But yeah, for like heavy lifting, you're like moving a couch or something.
Yeah.
Like,
ultimately, it like will act like a lifting belt. It'll just help distribute that increase in abdominal pressure, which that's really the only functional use for it. And it still shouldn't be something you're relying on. It should be a temporary thing.
exactly.
Yeah.
Got that one.
Oh, the next one is a big one. pH balanced vaginal washes or anything marketed just for the vagina / coochie. Parentheses, your vagina should not smell like a candle.
Yeah, I wrote that out. You shouldn't be like pulling your pants down and your partner's going down on you and he's like, oh, it smells like evergreen forest. Oh my God, it smells like rose petal bath bomb.
Yeah,
thanks.
vaginas should smell like vaginas.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to call a spade a spade. This is just like a pink tax and a marketing thing towards women at the end of the day. And it's a way for women to feel worse about their natural bodies. Mm-hmm. We don't need to be doing that. Your vagina is fine as is.
Yeah.
You actually aren't even advised to use soap. If you're using anything, it should be completely unscented. And like, I get it. Like, sometimes you do feel like you want to soap everything down and you're like, whatever, I want an everything shower and I feel like rubbing a little bit. You're supposed to use like a really gentle unscented wash. So like any of these pH balanced washes that are scented, anything like that, like you're really not supposed to be using.
If I'm going over to my friend's shower and I see Summer Eve in their shower, Summer's Eve, I'm going to take that shit and throw it in the trash. You guys listen to this.
Beware, don't invite Hannah over if you have Summer's Eve in your shower. It's going straight in the trash.
I don't want to see it.
But at the same time, there are brands that like don't advertise their wash being pH balanced because it's your vagina controls its own pH. Your soap isn't going to do that, right? Those are nonsense. But there are brands that have gentle, like completely unscented washes that are safe for vaginal use. And that's different. If you really want to buy something special, you can, but you can also get that from an everyday soap.
Or like a wipe or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I've used honey pot wipes before.
I've used what is their brand? V Magic?
Unscented.
Unscented, just like a wash. But I got it as a sample and I was like, you know what? This is fine. I don't know if I'd go out of my way to buy it, but it's fine.
I would use that after like sex or something. When I was really struggling with yeast infections / UTIs, then I use it afterwards. Came to find out that it was my partner, not me. But, it happens.
It makes me so mad.
I thought it was helping at the time, but I literally just use water now and I'm doing okay.
Yeah, doing just fine.
Yep.
Look at that. Okay, next up, you.
Fixing and preventing
you.
You were debunking you. Fixing and preventing stretch marks.
Dun, dun, dun. This is another one we get asked a lot as pelvic floor PTs because we see a lot of pregnant patients. Did you all know that stretch marks are largely hereditary?
Ooh.
That's the appropriate reaction. Mm-hmm. Also, beyond moisturizing your skin, there's not a lot you can do to actually prevent stretch marks. So my issue with this is not the fact that I'm not saying don't moisturize your skin, keep it moisturized, whatever, do what you can in that sense. But at the end of the day, realize that there is not a 100% way to foolproof your body and prevent stretch marks. 2, these brands that are marketed at specifically preventing stretch marks for whatever formula is in their lotion are full of crap. And 3, stretch marks are hot. So start owning them.
Yeah. You got a big ass? Hell yeah.
You got a big...
All bodies are beautiful.
Booty grew too fast? Hell yeah. Stretch marks.
Dang, you've been doing the squats?
There's so many reasons someone could have stretch marks and it's fine. I've never interacted with someone that would care or I don't know. Maybe I don't have stretch marks, so I can't really speak on that.
Mm-hmm. I got some.
And guess what? I've never noticed them, and I've seen a lot of you.
You've definitely seen my butt before.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I do get that, like, you don't have control over something in your body changing, and that's frustrating and whatnot. My issue is more with brands that are feeding into this like fear of stretch marks.
That goes into like the anti-aging thing too.
Yeah.
Fear of aging.
Fear of aging, for sure.
Guess what, guys? We're all gonna get old and die someday.
And actually, it's great if we can get old.
Spoiler alert.
In this economy?
Spoiler alert. I think aging is beautiful.
Yeah.
Next.
Aging is beautiful. Anyway, next.
Aging is beautiful too.
Okay, here's another one I have a lot of words on. Fear mongering around using sunscreen.
Oh yeah, Amanda specifically was like, Hannah, let's put this in. I have some things to say, so I'm excited.
So have we talked about on the pod this whole like wellness culture into like alt-right conservatism?
I think we've mentioned it before.
So basically what's happening is people that care way too much, in my opinion, about like specific dyes in their food, specific oils, specific ingredients, down to like analyzing every single thing word for word, are the same people that are now saying sunscreen's bad for you. Sunscreen is what gives you cancer. We lived for thousands of years without sunscreen. And newsflash, we died. Like, we didn't live as long. We got more skin cancer than we have today. Sunscreen is not the issue. And I do understand that there are sunscreens with better ingredients, and lotions might be better than aerosols for multiple reasons. But to say, like, I'm not using sunscreen at all, I think is a really dangerous thing. And there are brands advertising with that these days. Like, so the brand Primally Pure, have we talked about that before?
Is that the deodorant you have?
I've had their deodorant. I actually really like some of their skincare products, but they just came out with a sunscreen. And their whole thing is that they're like natural ingredients, whatever. And some of it just feels good on your skin, and I like that. But I also use like medical grade skincare. Like, I'm not against regular skincare, aside from like aluminum and deodorants. I'm trying not to do that. But their deodorant's really great. But they just came out with this sunscreen, which I'm sure is effective and good. It's a natural based sunscreen, and it uses like mineral zinc oxide, which we know is an SPF. So we know that that's a good sunscreen. But their branding and advertising is shitting on sunscreen. And it's saying sunscreen is toxic. Sunscreen causes cancer. Sunscreen is bad for you. And I think that's really, really dangerous.
Yeah.
To be like feeding into that in this world.
Oh, yeah.
Like, why are we telling people to not take care of their skin?
Yowza.
Newsflash, everyone needs sunscreen in the sun.
Look at me. I need sunscreen. I would die.
That 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. sun is danger zone.
Guys, this is the reason I live in Chicago and don't mind it. It's because we don't get that much direct sunlight. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with it. The summers actually scare me. I get sunburned so easily.
The summer's a lot sometimes. Even yesterday, it was like 96 degrees. Not yesterday. Last weekend, it was like 96 degrees, and it was a lot.
I don't know. I'm not a girl like that likes the sun that much.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll sit by the pool, but I get scared.
So yeah, that's my sunscreen problem.
The freaks needed to hear that.
The freaks needed to hear that.
Next one. Intermittent fasting.
Dun dun dun.
I fell for this, guys.
Oh, I did too, multiple times. It's a beautiful example of how research doesn't value women's hormones or women's bodies, because intermittent fasting, especially in the morning, is actually not that good for women's bodies.
Yeah, no, 100%. Actually, that goes back to something I saw earlier. I saw this posted from another podcast, okay? And it says, just to give an example of like how much women's health is under-researched, because I read this earlier. It's like, I should read this for the pelvic freaks. It says there are 4 times more studies on ED than PMS, despite the fact that only 19% of men experience ED, while 90% of women report PMS symptoms, for example.
Wild.
I know that's like off topic, but when you said like another example of women not being involved in research.
I mean, it's not surprising. Look at what this current administration has done. They just made the word women too diverse to get funding for studies. You cannot get direct funding for a study if your study is for women, because that's too diversity and inclusion for them.
That's so weird.
That's sick.
That's weird.
That's weird. And if you're like, oh, I get it because no, it's fucking weird, and shut up and shut up. I'm feeling feisty today. It's Pride. I'm gay.
She's an Aries. She's an Aries.
And it's now Cancer season. They're too docile for me. So shut up.
Oh my God.
My sister's an Aries, or my sister's a Cancer. I love her.
Oh, my man's is a rising Cancer, moon Cancer. So
I don't have any cancer in my partner's chart. I don't
have any cancer in mine, really.
I don't think I have any cancer in my chart. I might have one small thing. I don't know.
Who was the girl who's seen some black hair, died at 27?
Amy Winehouse?
Oh, yeah. I just saw a video today because I said my moon is in Pisces. I saw a video of Amy Winehouse going, "Oh, you're a Pisces? Do you know what that means?" And he goes, "No." She goes, "You're gay." Like, oh, that woman would have loved pelvic POV.
She would have loved pelvic POV.
We were right about that.
I would have loved her.
Okay. Well, intermittent fasting, guys.
Anyway.
Yeah, we have fallen for it. I do it on accident because I just am so busy that I don't eat. And we've acknowledged that, and I know it's a problem.
Yeah.
Guess what? I just got eggs, and I'm out of my egg ick again.
Hell
so I'm going to start eating breakfast again.
I, too, have had to make an effort to eat some, like, fat and protein in the morning. But here's the thing. Every single women's specialist I've talked to that actually researches women's bodies and designs, like, healthy plans for them based on that will tell you to eat breakfast because our hormonal regulation starts with eating fat and protein in the morning if you have female hormones in your body. So that's just a note. Intermittent fasting, I get where it comes from. It's like it's the calorie in, calorie out weight loss thing. Like if you just don't front load your day with calories, it's easier to not go over your limit. And I get that, but that's also feeding into diet culture, which I'm just not really into. And if you are going to do that as a woman, there's research that shows using like the tail end of your day as your fasting period is better for your biology. So it's definitely something I want to debunk and just address because like we've said, we've both done it. I did it for a long ass time. And again, it was in grad school when I was working out twice a day because I was miserable and I wanted to feel something.
Yeah.
That's the same time I gave into all of these trends, by the way. That's just
because these trends feed off of women feeling insecure and feeling like they need to change themselves to fit a certain mold accepted by society.
100%.
I got way too involved with my hands there. Maybe not involved enough.
Maybe not involved enough. It's pride. We're gay. I'm angry.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Next one.
Okay. This one was just funny. Guys, Lemmy Gummies. Kourtney Kardashian's gummy brand.
Listen, I've bought them.
I've bought them. Let me throw them out.
The only ones I bought were the ashwagandha ones, and I needed it.
Let me say this.
But then I just got some ashwagandha gummies too, and they were about 50% cheaper.
100%. You're going to buy something that's cheaper. And guess what? You want a supplement that is third-party tested because here's the thing. Do some of her supplements maybe work? Sure. I'm sure there's one like the sleep aid we talked about has melatonin in it. So that's going to help people sleep. It's like a known thing as long as it's third-party tested and it actually has melatonin in it. But then they have like GLP-1 gummies that actually don't have any GLP-1 in them, and people are buying them for weight loss, and no one knows what's going on with that, and it's not tested externally. So my advice, instead of buying Lemmy gummies because the branding is super cute and the packaging is super cute, is to get a brand that's really third-party tested and like doing what it says it does if you are going to rely on supplements.
But here's the thing with why Lemmy gummies got me. One, a Kardashian made it.
Yes. Kardashians are hot.
Got me, okay? Two, the packaging, like you said, it for some reason when I took my I think it was called, so it was ashwagandha gummies, right? But I think it's called Let Me De-Stress or something, or Let Me Chill. That's what it is.
Oh yeah.
It's Let Me Chill.
Have those.
I was a Let Me Chill girl because I was stressola, and I was like, I'm just gonna ashwagandha it up. I don't know, maybe not the best thing you should do, but I was going through it at the time, okay? And so I got the Let Me Chills, and I also had normal ashwagandha gummies. And I always felt like such a baddie taking my Let Me Chills versus taking my straight ashwagandha ones that were like, it just like literally just the only ingredient was like ashwagandha and like sugar versus like the Let Me Chill had like ashwagandha, like I don't know what else it had, but it had like other things that just probably weren't even needed. But it just like the marketing got me because it made me feel like I was like a hot bitch.
100%. The branding is good. And at the end of the day, if that helps build community or this feeling of like, I fit in here with these people, people are going to go for that. So if you're like, oh, a Kardashian, and I bought them too, by the way, you're not, I'm not shaming anyone that's bought Lemmy gummies. I've bought them too. And I've had a few different ones. And let me say, the Lemmy Chills, I also felt fun taking them. I can't say they chilled me out at all.
I don't know if they work. I for sure don't know if they work.
Also, even talking about ashwagandha, that's not the best thing for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's not the best way to chill. There's different things like lion's mane, L-theanine, like there's all these different things that might be better for you. So even consulting with your doctor, and like when they ask if you're on any medication, I always say if I'm taking a supplement.
Yeah.
Because it is a drug at the end of the day. It's just not a regulated one, which is kind of scary.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Food, like we said, food is medicine even. Like what you're eating influences you. So why wouldn't like a certain herb or something influence you?
My biggest thing with like food and supplements and diet and all of the stuff that we're like debunking and talking about, because you might be hearing this and be like, well, if food is medicine, why shouldn't I hyperanalyze every oil and thing in my food? Do what feels right for you genuinely and ask yourself why you are analyzing things. Because if it's because of some YouTuber that told you that you're not going to be able to lose 5 pounds if you don't cut this tiny ingredient out of your body,
but the way they word it is like this: I did this and lost 25 pounds by doing this one simple thing. And it's like they took out whatever, or they included the supplement. And then people are like, oh, well, she looks good. Maybe I'll buy that.
Right. And this is another thing. Even with the stretch marks, your weight is more genetically influenced than anything else. How your body looks in this lifetime. You're watching someone else on YouTube. You're never going to look like that person because you aren't that person and you don't have their DNA. Mm-hmm. And that's why people need to find things that feel good in their body and really make sure. And I think this is part of shaping your values in general as a person. In general, as a person. Is understanding what you are really deeply like okay with and not okay with on a cellular level. Like if I'm analyzing something that happened politically, I'm like, okay, why am I not okay with this aspect of that? What values do I have that like influence that? Because you can go in a comment section and find polarizing beliefs on either side and people that are gung-ho on everything all the time. And you can just start to not even form your own thoughts. And that's like part of the danger of marketing and social media and this chronically online persona that we're all becoming. And people don't actually understand these things or have their own opinion on them.
That was awesome.
That got philosophical for no reason.
That was awesome. I just started to feel something. I just felt inspired.
I mean, that's
Who knew Lemmy gummies would take us down this road?
Not the Lemmy gummies.
Not the Lemmy gummy pipeline.
Maybe she is doing something right.
I don't know. I've been taking her Lemmy Chill in about 10 months. And I've been doing pretty good. All right. Last but not least, this is probably 10.
This is probably 10.
But who knows? We're not counting. Neither should you.
What is it?
Kegling.
Kegling
For a type C.
For a tight puss. We had to end with a pelvic floor one.
Tight puss.
Listen, y'all.
Literally.
And it's like, why are we as women feeling like, one, you have to have a tight puss? Like, that's weird. A tight puss means you're not turned on if you're a grown adult. Like, you should be like expanding and relaxing if you're actually in a turned on state. So what is this? What is this that we're trying to do?
I think it was like vagina rehab doctor that said Kegling to have a tight vagina, to have tight sex that hurts for you but feels good for Tyrone. Literally. And I was like, period.
That's what it is. It's that male validation and this feeling that like sex is for men and we're not actually enjoying it.
And women need to make men feel good.
Yeah.
You know what? Your sex sucks if you're just doing it to make him feel good.
Yeah. You want to do 100 Kegels a day? Yeah. You're probably going to build some tension in your pelvic floor and things might feel tighter.
Yeah.
But you're not actually changing the anatomy of like the elasticity of the pelvic floor.
Yeah. I mean, like even this is maybe a stretch. I'm not like trying to like squeeze my bicep. I'm not doing like 3 sets of 10 like bicep squeezes throughout my day. You know what I mean?
No, but there are people that'll like do 100 push-ups before like taking their shirt off to like impress women. And that's like kind of a similar concept, I guess.
I guess so.
It'll make you like, if it'll give you that like swollen
Bulk
like
you up.
muscle feel really quick.
Just got to bulk up the puss before the sex.
bulk up the puss before sex, which is funny, not haha funny, but funny because that's the opposite advice we give our patients that have painful sex. We're never going to tell you to do Kegels. We're going to tell you to breathe and relax and lengthen as much as possible as your pre-sex routine, because that's going to make sex more pleasurable for you. And newsflash, if you're with a healthy partner or person, they want sex to feel good for you as well. They're not just like, oh, the tighter the puss, the better for me. So like, great.
I can't get over you saying puss, dude.
It's pretty good.
It's just how casually you say it. It's good.
The puss. It's easier for me than saying pussy.
Yeah, it's funny.
I like puss.
We know, okay? We get it.
I'm gay. It's pride. I'm angry.
Oh my god.
Well, wow.
I think we need to end it there. We've said puss like 500 times in the past minute.
Guys, should we talk about OMGYES?
Oh my god, guys, we got a referral link for OMGYES because we talked about it so much last time that
and
they were like
them for one.
They were like, okay, we'll give you an affiliate link and your listeners can click on it. Guys, we talked about OMGYES in our last episode, all right? That was a good episode.
Good episode.
We gave you some examples of what's in OMGYES for the squirting sode, but there's so much more. We have the link in the show notes and they have a special offer right now, which is 50% off and it ends soon. Guys, when I tell you, I literally use this all of the time.
I love OMGYES.
It gives you so many tips. If you're listening to this, you've never had an orgasm before, or you have difficulty having an orgasm, or you can only have an orgasm one way, and it's like through clitoral stimulation, and you only have one technique that works for you. There are so many ways that you can have an orgasm and that you can learn. If you are in a committed relationship or you have a partner and you need to explore new ways to kind of experience different forms of sex, there's things for that too. Go look at the link in the show notes that we have down below.
I highly recommend it. If I'm ever thinking about something sexual that I haven't done before that I want to try, I just go check OMGYES and see if it's there first. And usually it is.
Yeah.
And there's a tutorial on how to do it.
And I've never seen them offer 50% off before.
Neither have I.
So that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah. Go check it out at least. You won't regret it.
It says end soon. I don't know when soon is, but the sooner the better.
All right.
Like the sooner you get there, the better.
All right, pelvic freak. Are you getting riled up because it's Pride?
I'm a Gemini. Okay?
Your season just ended.
I'm a rising Leo. It's right around the corner.
All right. If you have any questions, comments, thoughts on this episode, you can submit them via the link in our bio.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
Guys, we also have discount codes for you guys. If you are ever interested they're in our link tree. So if you look at our Instagram bio, we have discount codes so that you can get a certain percent. I think it's 20% off of V-Well products, and they have anything from boric acid suppositories to vaginal dilators, and then for Intimate Rose products as well, which we use a lot. Mm-hmm. All right, so go check that out as well.
You can find that on social media at the link in our bio, where you can also submit any questions, comments on today's episode if you have any, or feedback for us on future episodes. So make sure you're following us on social media at Pelvic POV.
And that's it, guys. I'll see you later.
All right. Bye, Pelvic Freaks.
Bye, Pelvic Freaks.